All right, what we're going to talk about today is the HCG homeopathic supplement that's used in the fat release system. So basically what we're going to talk about is the fat release system and how it's going to help you lose the weight that you want to lose, get in shape, or whatever your trek is, whatever your expedition is to take the fat release system. I'm going to show you how that can happen. Now let me tell you something a little bit about myself. My name is Andrew Wood. I am a nutrition specialist. I work as a nutritional chemist. On top of counseling folks on diets and supplements, I work as a formulator in making supplements. Basically all natural supplements, especially through True Healthy Products. We only make all natural supplements, 100% all natural supplements, which is very difficult to do because we don't have the, as a formulator, we don't have the, when you're formulating all natural supplements, it's easier to take a synthetic compound and put it into a product and say you're done with it. But to actually get a nutrient derived from a food, and extracting, it's a lot of chemical processes, and we're not going to get into that, but just want to tell you how difficult things can be when you make all natural supplements. Now, apart from that, the other things that I've done is I've played college baseball, professional baseball, and right now I compete as an amateur powerlifter. I hold the Florida State record for deadlift, and I'm currently competing for national ranking this year in my weight class in powerlifting. So I like athletics, and just as athletics in college, that's what got me into nutrition. And I'm currently in school to acquire my master's and PhD in nutrition science and biomedical sciences. So blah, blah, blah. That's what I do. That's who I am. Any questions about me? Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. No autographs at the moment. We'll do that afterwards. Okay? Let me review this, go over this real quick. It's going to take about 20 minutes, and then we're just going to do Q&A after that. You guys can ask as many questions as you want afterwards. I don't want to keep you here too long, and then everybody's got to go, and then you guys miss out on the stuff that they've brought here. Sound good? Okay, so let's follow through this thing. So the fat release system. First point here is why do people diet? And obviously, it's to become healthier. These are the three main reasons that I found that people diet. To become healthier, to have a positive personal perception, or simply just to get in shape. Whatever your reason is, the fat release system can handle it. Okay? If it's to get in shape, whatever your definition of getting in shape is, don't let a magazine or a tabloid tell you what in shape is. You have your own definition. Okay? It's yours and yours alone. Whatever it is, you go for it. The fat release system will help you with that. There's so many different definitions of in shape, and then there's also the medical definition of in shape, which is just having good blood values, right? Good cholesterol, good blood pressure. You don't want your blood glucose levels all over the place and all that sort of stuff, and have too much extra body fat. Now, let me say this. Body fat is healthy. Okay? If anybody ever tells you, you guys look at these bodybuilders and they're out 3% body fat, that's not healthy. Okay, they're only like that for maybe a week, and then they gain weight afterwards. So body fat is healthy. It's just when we have an excessive amount is when we need to keep an eyeball on it. So what is the purpose of a diet? To initiate a physiological change through dietary, supplementation, or pharmaceutical means. And most diets are fat loss regimens. Now, what is a physiological change? Does anybody know what a physiological change, what does that term mean? The nurse cannot answer. Right. Physiological change just means a physical change. That's all it means. It's a big scientific word for physical change. And we can do this through dietary, supplementation, or pharmaceutical means. Now, the reason I put that in there is I want to make a big point here. Here's the big point. Pharmaceutical means is not the best means of acquiring fat loss. Okay? Because there's obviously side effects associated with that. Supplementation should not be your cornerstone for fat loss. The diet is what needs to be the cornerstone for fat loss. Now, if your diet is good, right, now we have nutrition science, diet, a specific diet, which plays with the macronutrient ratios, we'll get into that, will start the fat loss process, and then we can add supplementation to increase the fat loss process. Does that make sense? So we're not depending on the HCG, homeopathic HCG supplement here for this diet, for the fat loss. We're just accelerating it. The diet is what does the work. Okay? Want to be very, very clear here. The The diet is loaded with protein for muscles. It has a small amount of carbohydrates from the vegetables, fiber, nutrients. You have your micronutrients, which are your vitamins and minerals you're going to get from your vegetables. And there is fat in the diet because chicken and turkey and steak, they have fat, right? You need fat to survive. And we can't take all the fat out of the diet because you need to eat a little bit to be healthy. Now, what does the basic idea of a successful diet look like? It's to consume foods or macronutrients at specific ratios to acquire the desired physiological effect, which is physical effect, right? So what's a macronutrient? There's 3 of them. Protein, carbs, and fats, okay? And it's the ratios of your protein, carbs, and fats that initiate fat loss, okay? So if somebody comes into my office and they say, Andrew, I understand you're an action star. I will ask for your autograph after we have this consultation. I'm having trouble losing weight, but I'm only eating 800 calories a day. I say, okay. Well, where are these calories coming from? That's the question. You go into a dietitian's office, you go to a doctor's office, come into a nutrition specialist's office, and you say, I'm eating 800 calories a day. That tells me absolutely nothing. That's like telling a person from France you live in the United States. You could get a lot more specific. You can tell them the state you live in, your zip code, your area code, the city. You can give them your address and they can find you. Calories is a general term that says how much energy your body's getting from what you're eating. So if somebody comes to my office and says, I'm eating 800 calories, I'm not losing any weight, well, you could be eating 800 calories of fat. Okay? Now, if you break it down, you say, well, I'm eating 70% calories from fat, 20% calories from carbs and 10% calories from protein. Well, obviously you're not going to lose any weight off of that because that's way too much fat. So what the fat release system does is it plays with those ratios to start a fat loss process. Good? Basic science, basic nutrition science. Let's move on. Designing a program that will encourage the body to use stored body fat for energy. Fat loss is a complicated biochemical process. So the main idea is when everybody says, I want to lose weight, you have to be careful when you say that because what you really mean is you want to lose fat because you don't want to lose any muscle, okay? And if you lose muscle, that's when the fatigue starts kicking in, right? Because this takes energy, but this is controlled by what? Muscles. You blink, muscles, you breathe, muscles. Your heart's beating, that's a muscle. When you do like this. So if you have less muscles, you're going to have less movement, right? Or it's going to take a lot more energy to make that movement because you have less muscle to make that movement, right? So what we do is we take as much protein as possible, throw it into the diet, and let's hold on to that muscle tissue so the body will use the stored body fat for energy, right? And then we throw a small amount of carbohydrates in the form of vegetables to give you a little bit of energy, right? Because the brain loves sugar. And we all know what it's like. When our blood sugar's low, we start getting cranky, stomping our feet, banging on the wall. And everybody doesn't like us when we get hungry, right? Because the blood sugar's low and the brain's telling you, hey, give me something to eat.